Hey everyone, EVERY94 back with another action figure review. Today we are looking at yet another McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure. We're looking at Superman, the issue 1000 version. Action Comics to be specific. So let's get to it. Same box art as animated Batman. If you didn't see my animated Batman review, make sure to check that out. It is up already. On the side of the box we got Action Comics number 1000, Superman of course. And on the back side we have this artwork for Superman, and then we get a look at what other figures are included. We get the animated Superman. We have a Superman that is called Unchained Armor Superman, and then we have the Detective Comics issue 1000 of Batman. We also get another Batman but with a Joker-ish face. I'm unfamiliar with that, but it seems like it is the Batman who laughs. And then we have the Bat Raptor, because I think that is going to be like a build a vehicle type thing for these upcoming new figures. That these are not part of that build a vehicle thing, but I think the Nightwing and the Batman that laughs and all these other ones that you're not seeing in stores right now, those are the ones that come with it. So just like the animated Batman, Superman also comes with a base, but he actually comes with a stand too. So his base is clear and it is much bigger than the animated Batman one. And he's got a clear stand with a hook and everything to grab him. So I guess so you can pose him flying or whatnot. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a trading card as well. Alright, and here we have our Action Comics Superman. So he comes out of the box as so, with a pair of open hands. They are a little slightly different pose there. Doesn't come with much. So far, there hasn't been any alternate heads with any of these figures. They do have alternate hands, and he doesn't have any type of accessory to hold, although he does have grabbing hands. So here is his face sculpt up close, and it is actually really nice. I think it came out good. You can kind of take a look at the hair detail too. They went with like a glossy paint here, so it's black and some blue paint brushed onto there as well. I think the sculpt came out good with the little curl on the front. Overall, I do like the face sculpt. Pretty nice. There are some minor QC issues with like blue bleeding onto the skin down there. It's nothing crazy, but it is noticeable. And if you look at the S, there's some specks on there too, so it's not clean as can be, so keep that in mind. So far, at least with the one that I received, it's not the cleanest, but it definitely could be worse. I have seen worse, but I do have to point it out. Alright, so continuing on, up close shot of the figure. You can see here some of the texture on the side of the suit, and then going down to the feet. And then here's the cape. So before I forget, let me just show off the extra hands he does come with. So, well, here are the ones on him right now once again. The right arm or the right hand is just opened. The left one's kind of like he's grabbing something, but not really. It's just got the index finger curled in. Then we get a left fist. So only the left hand gets the fist here. Then we get a right hand grabbing hand to grab whatever you want to put in his hands. And that's it. That's all you get. That and the base, stand, and the trading card. Alrighty, so he definitely does have better articulation or range of motion compared to the animated Batman, because he doesn't have the cape draped over him and his face isn't so like fat like that animated Batman. So his head can swivel left and right all the way 360 degrees. So there's that. That's a good thing. You can kind of tilt it down too, so a lot more range and motion on the head, which is great. It's very squeaky though. There's some parts where you see how it goes back. I'm turning it and it just kind of jumps back into place. So it's yeah, it's not your traditional head swivel. I want to kind of pop it off, but I'm scared. I see the peg inside, so let's not break him on camera. Alright. So there's the head, no neck articulation. We got the arms going forward and back all the way. They go in and out about this much. So there you go. So we do have that socket for the shoulder that moves around in there. So you see here, got the hinge on the shoulder. That socket, I mean, it provides very subtle movement. It's not going to extend it out like a butterfly joint. but it's there to move the shoulder around more, so I'll take it. We have a bicep swivel, only a single jointed elbow. Looks like he's only going with single joints. He's gotta get the double joint in there because he's got the plastic space for that. He can definitely add in the double jointed elbows and get this to bend a lot more than that. But we at least get a 90-degree bend on the elbows, and at the very least. We have the wrist swivel and hinge, and I've seen people talk about these wrists. They don't like them. I can see why. I mean, it kind of looks weird now that I pointed it out, and you're just looking at it. It does look a little bit weird. It's just really big and round, and you can just see. Anyways, you can swivel it there and hinge it. Here's the peg, just like the Batman Animated Series peg. It's the same thing. Torso, we have a diaphragm joint that swivels. It goes back and forward a lot more than the Batman does. We have a crunch and swivel at the waist too, so not too bad there. The legs are gonna kick forward about this far, so that's not very far, to be completely honest. There it does get hindered by the undies. It is a soft plastic, but that's it. They don't drop down. Maybe if it did have a drop down feature, it would help with that, issue. There is not really a thigh swivel either. So, this is probably going to turn away people. I mean, I don't want to consider this a thigh swivel, but technically there is. So, you see, technically, so it's swiveling right there. There is the swivel there. But, I mean, when you want to get them looking natural, you're not going to get the swivel out of there unless you extend the leg out like this and swivel it. So, does that count? I don't know. Probably not. We have a double jointed knee, which bends very well, so that's good. And then going down, we get the ankle hinge and the rocker at the ankle. People don't like the ankles either. Seems like they're not liking these a lot. And there's a hinge on the toe. That just brings me back to I did read the comment section on my Batman Animated Series. I haven't gotten a chance to respond to everybody, but I did read over them, and a lot of people just, they didn't really like that animated Batman, it seemed. A lot of people were preferring the DC Collectibles animated Batman, which does cost a little more. It's a shorter, smaller scale, but I mean, on average, based off what I was reading, only a few people liked the new McFarlane Batman. The majority just didn't like it, at least the ones that commented on the video. So, just something I noticed. I did ask in the end of that video what everyone's thoughts were on that Batman, so I did get that feedback, so thank you for that. Just trying to mess with him, just to get him any random looking pose to see if he'll stand or make a pose. He's still, man, it's hard to describe it. It's still very hindered. Although he does have all these points of articulation, it's just so weird. I think it's the groin area, because of the undies being this hard plastic, soft plastic. I mean, that doesn't make sense, but it's a soft but hard plastic. There is hindering there, as you saw. Moving it forward, it's hindered. It does move in and out a lot. I don't even know if I showed this, but in and out. I'm all over the place today. In and out, he can extend out very well, so that's good. It's just going forward. That's a big deal. And then the double jointed or the lack of double jointed elbows is another big deal too, because just that alone, those two things would have made it a lot more posable than what he is. But definitely does not look bad in terms of the design and look of the figure. It looks really good. It seems to be a favorite amongst the lines. From what I've seen, people have been wanting to get the Superman more than anything else. And I think that's just strictly based off of the way he looks. He looks really good. And of course, I gotta get him into a flying pose, and this is executed very well. At least you can get him into a flying pose easily. So the arms are able to go all the way up. He's got that fist hand, so you can put that on his left arm. And his diaphragm joint bends far back enough, and his head bends far back enough to where you can get him to fly. It doesn't look weird. And we got the knees bent there. So that is good. You can get him in a flying pose. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get into the height comparisons, and then we'll wrap this thing up. So first I'm going to throw in, of course, the animated Batman McFarlane, which I did review first. It's the only one I have open right now. And I'll put him on the side. It looks like the capes are getting in the way. Maybe I should put him on this side. And yeah, so this one definitely has skinnier legs and ankles, so he's a little bit tougher to stand up without the base, but it is doable. Let's see if I can do it on camera without. Okay, there you go. So not too bad. So obviously this is animated. This is not. They did make an animated Superman as well. So he'll definitely look better next to this Batman since it's animated too. But definitely what I can say here is, of course, the legs aren't as thin on the Superman and the ankles are thicker. So he does stand up easier. The feet are bigger too. So overall he does stand a lot easier than this Batman. But even so, the look of the figures, which has been a thing with McFarlane all the time, he makes them look good. It's just the articulation and the posability is what gets hindered all the time with his stuff. But I mean, he's working there. I mean, he's getting there. I mean, we're definitely having a lot more articulation than he's ever done before. For McFarlane, for a McFarlane figure, this is good. You know, for a Marvel Legend or for a DC or figure arts or any, I mean, I don't want to get into imports, but for anything else that we're used to, it's not going to be the greatest thing, and I can see why people are trending away from it and not really stoked about it. But I think these look cool, and I'm not biased at all. I have nothing with McFarlane. I have nothing with DC. I'm more of a Marvel fan, if anything. I'm not really a big McFarlane fan either. I don't collect a lot of McFarlane stuff at all. I've been wanting them to add articulation and do a better job than what they've always done for a long time. I mean, but coming from what he was used to doing, like with their Walking Dead figures, those little tiny 3-inch, 4-inch figures with very minimal articulation, and the articulation that they did have was horrible. Coming from that to this is definitely a plus. It's definitely good for him. It's a step in the right direction. You know, it's not perfect. It's not 100% for everybody. People might be a little too hard on McFarlane right now. They're being way too hard on these figures, thinking that these are gonna be Marvel Legends, which they should be, I guess. Is that wrong that people are being hard on them? Maybe not, maybe, I don't know. It's just a really confusing and hard thing. I mean, if you like it, buy it. If you don't, then don't. As simple as that. Alright, I'm talking a lot, but I do gotta mention that, yes, Batman does have eyes. I got that in my last review. I know my backdrop was black and dark, but even here everything's more brighter and lit, and you can barely see the eyes. They're really tucked in there. It's sculpted inside his face very deep, so it's hard to see. Even with this lit up, bright background and everything, it's not dark back there, and it's still hard to see. I can get the light shining in sometimes, like you can see one eye, but yeah, it's just the way it's sculpted. And I just realized this is literally my only Superman figure I own. So that goes to show how little DC I collect. It's not that I hate it, it's just I don't really collect the toys for DC. So yeah, this is literally the only Superman I have, so I don't have any other Supermans to compare him to, unfortunately. So here is a Mayfix Spider-Man, just for the heck of it. Very small compared to the Superman here. And I do wish he came with a right fist too, so we can get a pair of fists, which come with every figure nowadays. It's kind of weird that he didn't include that. I'll throw in a Mezco PSCC Pink Skulls Chaos Club member here. Here's a Mezco Iron Man, since he's very tall, and you can see that Superman still towers over him. Here is a random Marvel Legends Rogue figure. Alright, so this Negan's much closer to the height of Superman, and this is also a McFarlane 7-inch figure from The Walking Dead. So this is when they were making their newer Walking Dead color tops figures, when they kind of strayed away from their little 4-inch ones. And even these, look at the articulation on these. I mean, he wasn't there yet, obviously. He wasn't a big fan of articulation, so he only put simple points, single jointed legs, and the groin really doesn't move, and then the ankles, there's no ankle articulation. So just look how far he's come from what he was doing. So I'll give him props for that, and he's trying, and he's still doing what he loves. Look how this bat's warped up like crazy. But yeah, just getting him next to Negan. That's how this Superman looks, and that's probably my only other like 7-inch McFarlane that I have. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my review of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman Action Comics number 1000 figure. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Just like the Batman, You know, if you like it, get it. If you don't, then just don't. This is not going to be for everyone, I can tell just based off the feedback that I got from the Batman animated review. And speaking of that, go ahead and leave me your feedback based off of this review. What do you guys think of this Superman figure? Is it the same for you as the Batman animated? Are you still not convinced to buy this line? Are you? Do you like this? Do you not? Let me know. Is there a better Superman figure out there to get than this? If so, which one? Alright guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Leave a like if you did. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.